Will they ever get worked out? Yes, they're already being worked out, I think because the economy is getting better. And suddenly the concerns that we can't use this traffic is worthless to us, start to go away when it looks like maybe that traffic can be monetized or you can sell ads again against it. It was interesting because for many years you had newspapers that had registration systems or had paywalls, and they dropped all that stuff because they wanted this traffic from Google and other search engines. They had all these ads that they wanted to sell against it. We have an ad downturn and suddenly now Google's the bad guy in all of it. And really the bad guy was you had depended too much on one particular revenue stream and hadn't braced yourself up for changes. There's certainly a huge debate that goes on about it, and so if we could better define it, better give guidelines both to publishers so that they don't overreact, and to people who want to repurpose other content so that they don't get themselves into trouble, that would be helpful. But it seems a difficult task for people to define. What perhaps might be an easier thing is if we could come up with some kind of a system like you have with the music industry, where for a relatively low cost you can license content, and then you don't have to worry so much about whether or not it was fair use because you're already covered, if you will, through your insurance policy in some ways. I haven't found a good example of that so far. There are times to block any search engine if you've got private information or information you don't want out to the public for it to be found, but you know, for the most part, publishers that have thought we need to block Google because we just get these people and they read our content for free, you can show Google that content, and you can also implement it in a way that when people arrive at it, you say, hey, we'd love to show you this, but you need to register, you actually need to pay, and they have mechanisms to allow publishers to do that. So I look at those kinds of concerns and I think, I don't understand your problem, you can have your cake and eat it too, so why not do that? I think content that you can't get anywhere else has a value and people will pay for it, a small number. So if you have really good exclusive content that you think there's a market for, sure. You know, I don't think it's artificial scarcity, I just think it's charging people for something that they'll pay for. But charging people for a 500-word summary of a news event that is on 20 other publications, that's a terrible business model. So I think really the model people need to look for is, what is it that people value to the degree that they'll spend money on, and how do you make it easy for them to give you that money? Yes, they're worth at least $60. And I say that because I was ordering some screen guards recently and I noticed there was a what's your discount code on it, so I thought, oh well, I'll type in the name of the company, discount code, see what comes up, and I had nice fresh discount codes that I could use that saved me 50% off. It was a good sum. So there you are, they're at least worth at least $60, but I do think that they're valuable in other ways as well. I think that they can help people understand what the buzz about a particular event, a movie, a TV show, was that really an earthquake or not an earthquake that's going on? There's a lot of information that people are sharing, and sharing within, you know, seconds of it occurring through services like Twitter or Facebook. And people want to find out what's happening, so real time helps provide that. I think you're going to see further convergence of the two. You know, we've come from a place where people thought you had to have a website just for mobile and a website just for the web itself. And you'd have search engines for mobile and search engines for the web. And, you know, over the past few years, and I think especially as the iPhone has become popular, you haven't really needed to have that mobile website. The devices have gotten better in dealing with regular websites. And then that also means that from a mobile perspective, you don't necessarily need to do different things. But one thing that has emerged is the idea of applications as sort of mini Googles or mini search engines themselves. And one of the things I've tried to talk to people about is that apps, if you will, that phrase, there's an app for that. It's almost like saying there's a Google for that. There's an app that lets you do any kind of search you can think of. And the nice thing is they don't all come from Google. So there's a lot of diversity that's out there. There's a lot of utility and different things that you can do, and your mobile devices can be smarter and help you on the go in that way.